Well, our goals are, I think, focused on two countries in particular, the two that we've talked about the most here. With respect to Greece, there is a new government in place. The new government has indicated an interest in reforming, and we want to help that government to bring its procedures and standards and conditions of detention up to the levels that have been that are required as member states of the European Union. So we are hoping that things will improve this year in Greece. We're somewhat optimistic about that, given the conversations we've already had with the new Greek authorities and some of the reforms that they've already pledged themselves to make. The other country is Italy, and here we hope that the Italian government will change its policy of interdicting and summarily returning asylum seekers to Libya, and we hope that by publicizing what happens to people in Libya, they will look at this policy again. And we've had some positive discussions with some members of the Italian government that I think are aware of the problems, and how they resolve that, how they deal with that is another question, and that's one that we certainly will be looking at very closely in 2010 and continuing to work on.
And outside Europe?
Oh, outside Europe, the sky's the limit. We have quite a number of problems. I mentioned Democratic Republic of Congo, very serious problems for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of internally displaced people there who it's very difficult to get humanitarian assistance to them. Their protection needs are immense. Physical protection, people being raped, brutalized, murdered. Similarly, many of the problems in Sudan are quite significant, and unfortunately, there are quite a number of other places. We just issued a report this week on Yemen and the conditions for Ethiopian and Somali asylum seekers. And then, when you look at a country like Yemen, you also have to look at the internal displacement there as well, and trying to reach those internally displaced people has been very difficult this year, and we anticipate it's going to continue to be difficult next year. We have large populations of internally displaced people that are very vulnerable in places like Sri Lanka, the Philippines, and many others. So these are questions that we will continue to be looking at and advocating on behalf of people who oftentimes, even though they're citizens of the country in which they are displaced, they don't have the basic human rights that other citizens enjoy.